made a major advance toward that goal by testing a missile that may be capable of reaching US military facilities on the island of Guam and, if you believe the North Korean government, carrying a nuclear warhead. Wallace mentioned the concern most people raise when they assess the risks of a US military operation. The North Koreans could swiftly bombard South Koreans with artillery guns stationed in the Kaesong area near the Korean Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, roughly as far from the South Korean capital of Seoul, a sprawling metropolis of 25 million people, as Baltimore is from Washington, D.C. What the president has first and foremost on his mind is to protect the American people, McMaster said. Where that left the South Korean people, McMaster didn't say. If we were to launch a preemptive strike against their nuclear program, their missile program, we're talking about human catastrophe, aren't we? The options within the military option. A military option need not involve strikes at all. It could mean deploying military assets to deter North Korea from using weapons of mass destruction, just as the United States and its allies deterred rival nuclear states during the Cold War. This might include beefing up missile defenses like the THAAD system in South Korea, which the Trump administration has been rapidly installing. It might even include the reintroduction of nuclear weapons to Japan and South Korea to emphasize that we are determined to fully deter any North Korean attack and, should deterrence fail, that it would result in a prompt and overwhelming response, just as America deployed Pershing missiles to Europe during the Cold War, according to Wallace Gregson, a retired lieutenant general who served as the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Asian and Pacific Security Affairs in the Obama administration. But the Trump administration also appears to have not ruled out a preventive strike akin to what the George W. Bush administration undertook in Iraq, striking first to neutralize a threat that may materialize in the future, according to Van Jackson, a Korea expert at Victoria University of Wellington. A preemptive strike, by contrast, would be the US government springing into action to stop an imminent attack. As Jackson sees it, preventive strikes against North Korea could take three forms. 1. The offshore option: the United States launches Tomahawk cruise missiles from a Navy ship or submarine. This is the least risky option since it doesn't involve traversing North Korean territory, and would resemble Trump's strikes against the Syrian military for using chemical weapons, but there's no guarantee that North Korea would refrain from retaliating. 2. The aerial option: US stealth bombers or fighter aircraft conduct airstrikes over North Korea. Such an approach is more conducive to military escalation than the first option. The North Korean government knows that US bombers are capable of carrying nuclear weapons, and the United States might need to take out North Korean air defenses to successfully deploy some of these planes. Even if the US operation is limited in scope, North Korea may not interpret it that way. 3. The high-tech options: a US bomber drops a massive ordnance penetrator, a bunker-busting bomb that has never been used in combat, on hard-to-reach targets such as underground nuclear facilities. Or the US trots out other new technologies, such as electromagnetic railguns mounted on warships. Using these weapons would set a precedent that other countries could emulate, and it's unclear whether they would be any more effective than lower